What better time to return to Rust after a 2-month break than October 31st to release the full tutorial for the Halloween. We also just recently hit 5,000 subscribers, and I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you all for that. Now without further ado, let's get into the video. Thank you Rusty Loop for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you use code OMAR at checkout to get a couple cents and try your luck. Now, enjoy a rerun of the tour of the base before the tutorial begins. Alright, so the base starts off with a simple wooden gatehouse. An airlock is created with the external TC. This TC is housed in a roof disconnectable with an upkeep of around 4k frags. By breaking this twig frame, the pod disconnects from the base in case the main one has to be replaced. The twig can then easily be placed back after the job is done. Moving on to the base itself, it starts off with a low China wall. There are 2 shotgun traps defending its gap, as well as several peaks to both the outside and inside of the base. The China wall also provides all the space you need for beds and lockers, which creates a seemingly endless amount of respawn points. Behind one of these lockers, you can also make use of a hidden battery. This is especially overpowered because in the majority of cases the China wall is mostly overlooked. All sides are provided with full turret cover, and by using these low walls, you can easily get crouch peeks towards the outside of the base. Moving on to the main entrance, you're provided with 2 more low wall peaks, which also acts as jump ups towards any floor in the base. If you keep moving in, you're provided with an early game locker as well as an entrance to the starter. This starter provides all the boxes you can hope for, as well as space for several furnaces. Upkeep on main TC is of around 86k frags. This, of course, considering the base is completely made up of metal. It also provides 3 ways up towards the leg peak to the open core. If you keep moving upwards, you're provided with an entry to the core itself. But before that, there's also a path towards an early game shooting floor and late game peek down. This core provides an astonishing 153 boxes worth of loot space, all with great defendability. This core also features a collapsible roof as well as a bunker for explosives. This is especially useful when your team is in the crosshair of ghosters. Moving upwards, you're met with the first bedroom layer, which also provides several peaks to the collapsible roof. The floor above that is utilized similarly, with multi-axis lockers as well as some ramp and low wall peek downs. If you keep going up, you're met with the shooting floor. All angles are optimized for the new crouch meta. The shooting also makes use of collapsible honeycomb, so when the rocket starts hitting, you're provided with more and more peaks. There are also drop down windows towards the inside of the base. Upwards from there is an easy access to the roof. Inside of that layer, there are more bedrooms with multi-access lockers, as well as retake points for the bottom layer. Moving on to the roof, you're met with some windowed airlocks to increase security. Inside of that, there's also a secondary core for when the rooms start getting exciting. The roof is guarded by external towers and also provides some additional peaks. That about covers the tour of the base. Now, let's get into the tutorial. Alright, so before we get into the actual build itself, I just wanted to point a couple things out. I am building the base primarily out of metal just because that's how it's supposed to be looking anyways. And for the sake of the build not taking 3 hours long, I didn't really add any boxes or doors. So if it gets confusing at any point, just let me know in the comments. We'll start off the base with the standard circle footprint, only we'll make it 1 layer larger than the rest. So we'll fill all this out and then we'll go actually 3 triangles out like so. And then we'll just fill it out with squares after that. So after you completed the squares, this is basically the footprint for the core of the design. So after you're done with that, let me just activate symmetry real quick. Alright, so let's go. So you need 3 entrances, so you can just make them by just putting just 2 single doors like that. We can make the jump up on the opposite side, like so. We'll just cover these out with walls after that, and lock off the top. Of course, we will be leaving these jump up opens like so. We'll just fill the rest in over here, and then we'll just make a simple entrance from the top. Alright, after that you can just add your divisors over here. These are obviously loot rooms, you can use these for furnaces, maybe put your TC over here or something. But after your starter is completed, after you have this, boxes, doors, everything you need, let's move on to the external TCs. So there are going to be 12 external TCs for this base, and 2 different designs. So here we go. For the first design, we'll expand with a couple of triangles from the base, and then we'll go square and 2 triangles. So this is the footprint of the base itself. From this, we're going to make the wide gap, so this is all the main TC. So from this square over here, we'll actually go 3 out, and then go back with triangles. And then we have our wide gap. We'll move the rest over here, we'll place a square, and then put 3 triangles to each side of the square. And this is going to be our wide gap for this side. From here, we'll go with the half moon, a square, a half moon, and then 2 more squares. And then here's going to be our external TC. So we can just put 3 triangles for that, and we can remove this square. We'll put a lower triangle here for us to jump up. You can leave this twig, it's fine. And we'll actually put our TC down first over here in the corner. We'll put one of these in there first though. So we'll put our TC, get a roof, a window frame, and we can just wall this section off and just get a door going. From there, you're going to have to place a twig frame right here, which is going to connect the external TC to the ramp that we're about to place. So we can just place the ramp, and you can see that right now it's connected because of this twig, so the upkeep would be like, what, 400? If we remove the twig, upkeep goes down to like 160, so it is a big difference. It completely disconnects the TC from everything else, and it's a very simple system. Alright, for the second external TC, it's a little bit trickier, but still pretty straightforward. We'll just finish the base's footprint like so. Actually, put this square here like so. And then from here, we'll go a triangle, a square, and then another triangle, and then we'll do 2 squares and a triangle. And then we'll remove all of this, and then just go back with triangles, and then 2 squares. Alright, from here you kind of want to follow the same thing as the last one. You want to do a half moon, a square, a half moon, and then 2 squares. Then we'll build the pod for the external cupboard, and we'll make it in the opposite side actually. First off, we'll place this, we'll place the cupboard. This way we actually don't have to go 3 squares out, because it's actually on the other side. So alright, we'll just finish this up like the rest. Just wall it off. We'll add our window over here. You can optionally add a door as well, and put our twig frame. Right, from there we'll just remove this, get the door connected. We can just fill these in as well. Alright, so now that you have your external TCs completed, the next step would be building a better entrance to the core itself. So we'll start off by doing this. We'll add 2 triangles to each side of the entrance. We can do this to everything. We'll put 2 like so. We'll add half walls to both sides, and then a door frame. You can go 2 layers up. We're going to later remove the top of the half wall, and then replace it with low wall so we actually get a shooting point. From here, we can kind of connect it to the base, just like wall this off like so. We can rotate these, but ultimately, like, it's whatever early game. This is going to become honeycomb later on anyways. So we'll just make this inwards, and then we'll just wall this off. So it's going to be looking kind of something like this. I know you only have entrances in 3 sides. In places like this is going to later on become honeycomb. However, for now, we'll just leave it like so. And we're actually going to be working on the jump ups. So I'm just going to place a square like so, and it creates a jump up over here. We can wall this off and then just create single jump ups on both sides. We can just put this like so over here. We can wall this off as well. For the 3 sides that don't have anything, you can just leave it open right now. You probably are not going to have resources early game to fill this out with metal. But later on, you can just simply fill it out like so. You can put your triangles like this and even wall this off. And there it is. However, for now, we'll just leave it open. Alright, so after you made those jump ups, what we're going to work on are the early game shooting floors. So what we're going to do is we'll go just 2 squares up on these 4 tiles over here. And then from here, we can actually kind of see it happening. We'll just connect the triangles to the side and then just do it like so. And we kind of have the footprint for the early game shooting floor. So from here, we're just going to want to expand upwards again like so. Creating like a jump up. And then we'll just put doors all around this. And then we're gonna lock this off. And by putting the roof of those in the one in front, we actually limit the mobility, the peaks they have on us by putting it in front like so. As opposed to it being like over here, where like the peak would be just so ridiculous. The stability is not great, that's why I couldn't place it. However, anyways, we'll just place it connected to the wall on top. Which limits the visibility, and by placing walls like so, we limit it even more. So this is the only thing that if they get roof control, this is all they can see from the shooting floor. But anyways, we'll just finish locking this area up. We're actually going to add a jump up again on this. So we'll just do it like so. Don't add roof tiles to this, just leave it like this. You can just add a single door. It's not going to bother you too much in the beginning of the game, and it should be looking something like this. So from here, now something we need to work on is mobility through the base. We're actually going to want to create a peak over here, and we'll just get another jump up going. So we'll do that, but we only have to do this for 3 of the spots, so I'll actually put symmetry 3 on, just remove this. Should be looking something like this. You can put this tile on, and alright, we'll put squares around like so. And from there, we can just wall this like this. We'll leave this big space open. This is later going to be the open core. However, the focus right now is making the base as defendable as soon as possible. So we'll just keep working on that. We can add a jump up to just make this safer over here. We'll add this jump up like so. And just close this section off. Here, we're going to want to put a window, aiming in the middle, a doorway, and then like so. Put a door frame over here, because this is later going to be loot rooms, but for now we'll just leave it like so. And then we can just do the same thing that we did to all other sides. So after that, it should be looking something like this. If we wall the section off. So at this point, you've reached a stage in the base where it is pretty defendable. With doors and everything, you can literally go from the core to any corner of your base without getting killed. But after that, you want to add another layer of defendability to your base, which would be the China wall. So for the China wall, here's what we're going to want to do. We're going to expand from the China wall from all TCs that connect to the entrance. So for all 6 that connect to the entrance, they look considerably different than the other, as you can tell. You're going to want to expand. So we'll just fill these out. And here's what you're going to want to do. From the bottom triangle of the second half moon, you'll go square, 3 triangles, and then 2 squares. And you'll do this from both sides. You'll go square, 3 triangles, and then 2 squares. If you complete it on all sides, it should be looking something like this. From here, what you're going to want to do, these are going to be the entrances from all the other TCs that don't have the entrance to the base itself. It's going to be the entrance to the compound. So we'll just start off, a couple windows, we'll get this like so. From here, you can place just 2 half walls. We're going to replace this lower one with the lower walls. And we're actually going to be putting a shotgun trap over here, which creates one of the most ridiculous shotgun traps. You're just going to be walking through, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're dead. Alright, for the rest of the China wall itself, you can really divide it however you want. This part over here, I'll usually segment it out like so. I'll leave it like this, and then I'll put a double door here. This way we'll get like, what, 4 beds. You can maybe fit 2 lockers here if you're really gaming, and you'll get a single door over here. With the single door, you create an airlock over here, so people just can't just go inside and just take your shit if they get control. From here, you can just wall everything off like so and actually divide it. So there are 3 squares, so one side's obviously going to have an extra square, but you actually can use that for your advantage. If you've seen the tour of the base, you do know we have a hidden battery over here. So what we do is we put the battery, put a door, and then we'll put the locker over here. And then no one knows that there's a battery there, and it's just so broken. But I'm not gonna be putting beds and stuff for the sake of time. Just gonna be adding these, just doing the exact same thing I did on the other side. Alright, so after you wall off the China, it should be looking something like this. You can add a jump up over here to help getting a couple shooting points, and this is later gonna be a turret position. But anyways, from here, we're gonna want to expand with these to finish the China wall over here. So we'll just go like so with just some door frames. We'll add 3 half walls, 3 windows, and then 2 windows to the side like so. We'll add 2 triangle roof tiles, and it'll cover everything up perfectly. We'll just put 3 more tiles and a peak towards the outside of the base on top like this. So now you have kind of a walkway over here. A lot of defendability in the design. If you actually put beds and lockers early game in the China wall, it's going to be super OP. It's a very low chance you're going to get successfully early game rated like so. People are going to be coming in, assuming you have barricades and stuff early game. You can put the shotgun traps. You just have too many resources to defend your base. If people take control of roof, look how many angles you have. There are going to be like doors and windows here. You can literally just come and just literally kill anyone in the roof. Kill anyone outside. You can spawn in the China wall, and just people are just not coming in, you know. After that, you can add barricades over here. You should do this as soon as possible, but many times you're going to be lacking blades this early, so you can just put them as you go, you know. Just make sure you don't leave it for too late in the game, because you know raids come early, and the teams that are slacking are always the ones that get fucked. So after we've added the barricades, this is clearly not perfect. We're actually going to be working on the open core of the base, or just get a basis for the open core. So we're going to be working on honeycombing this area, so we can actually honeycomb this like so. It's actually going to be making the base 2 walls to core in any direction. So this is pretty overpowered early game. After that, we're going to be doing the same out here, only we're not closing this off like so. We're actually going to be putting a low square on this one, because it's later going to become our loot room. From there, you can just close these off, just put another square, and then just get a roof on these, like so. So you just added kind of another layer of protection to your base. In here, what we're going to do is we're just going to section these off, get some loot rooms going, and we'll just put some half walls, like so. We can use a trick to just easily place a triangle in the square by placing one out here. You can just leave that there, it's not really going to make any difference. And then here you want to put two triangles on the side and leave the middle one open. So after that, for this part, it's a little trickier, considering we're going to be making kind of a vault. For those who watch the tutorial, you're going to know what I'm talking about. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to add a ladder hatch frame over here, and then we'll just fill this off normally. But after we fill this off, we're just also going to be wanting to add a couple frames like so. This is going to help with stability for the collapsible roof. I'll show you guys later on. From there, super straightforward. You can just close it off. Just leave it like that. And now, to close this final part of the base, kind of open roof over here, actually going to be using twig for the collapsible roof. So we'll just twig around this entire area like so. In order to get these blocks down, it might be a little trickier to get the stability right. You do have to add like these entries in the beginning. So this part, what I do like to section it out, I'll just do it like so, and I'll just do this on both sides. You do need to add this part for stability, so you will be having a hard time with this part in the top if you don't get this part in the bottom right. So, alright. After we get this, the part on top is pretty straightforward. We'll just come over here, and we'll just add a bunch of triangles like so. We can add triangles like here, for instance, in the beginning, just to help with the stability. So we'll just fix this part out and get this back on, and like so. For instance, we'll just like put this here real quick. Then we can add this on top with ease. Then we can later on remove these because we're going to be needing to wall this part off like so. We can put the ladder hatch, and then here we're just going to be going a layer up. You can put these. You put your boxes before you close this part off, or else you're not going to be able to get all the, I believe it's 8 boxes you can fit in this. You can simply wall this off. But at this stage, anyone who gets in your roof can literally just shoot this off. It's going to collapse in a second. So what you're going to want to do is, on the triangles of these, you actually want to place the half walls. You want to place half walls like so. And then on the squares, you're going to be placing windows. Alright, so after this, just want to leave that like that. Now people can't actually break it in there. I mean, if it has an F1 or something, he can try, but it's a lot harder. It's kind of just going to leave it like that. Alright, so for the next step of this base, we're going to be working on this floor, which is going to be the first bedroom layer of the base. So what we're going to want to do is we're actually going to want to go up on this honeycomb a little bit more. And this is actually wide-gapped honeycomb. You see that it's not actually connected to the base. And this is going to be very advantageous because we can actually make multi-access lockers that can be accessed through a variety of places. Like, for instance, if there's a locker like over here, I can access it right here, you know? I can just access it. And then I can access it through the top, through a multitude of places. But anyways, so we'll just start this off pretty straightforward. We'll start this off with a half wall, just do like so. I mean, if you are trying to save on upkeep, you can just do this, but you know, optionally, you can just leave it like that. It's not going to change that much. After you did that, you can just wall this part off. You can wall it over here later on, so you can just leave this open. This is kind of just going to be looking like this. We'll worry about this later on. But for the bedroom right now, what we can do, it's pretty straightforward. We can just get a door going over here. We'll have we'll have 4 beds in each side, and then we can actually get our lockers over here. So for the lockers, it can be a little trickier to access like the code locks and stuff. So there are a couple variations. You can obviously leave this space open and literally just put the lockers like so. An idea also that can be pretty overpowered, for at least for this first floor, would be something like this. You'll add a half wall, and then you'll put like something like a window frame here. And then when you put your locker here, you can get your locker from your spawn in your bedroom. You can get your locker from literally the loot room. This is going to be like so, but you can still reach it pretty easily. So you literally just get in there and just locker. You know what I'm saying? And it's everywhere. So few kits and you can get access from it from so many places. So we can just do this for everything actually, and we'll just get this on like so. Alright. I'm not going to actually add all the lockers, but after that, you can just wall this off, and then, wall this off and just add a locker on top. Thing is, you want to make sure that it's halfway through. You don't want to make it like, if the you don't want to make it like half a wall up, or else you can only access it through one floor. You want to make it half, so then you get access to 2 lockers per floor. It's pretty overpowered. After that, you can just wall this top off like so. This part, you actually want to make something like this. You're going to want to put a triangle over here. You're going to want to add windows here. And then from here, just make this like a regular entrance. We'll just close this all off. Alright. So after you closed it all off, it should be looking something like this. You're going to want to add your jump ups, of course, again. So you add your jump ups with half walls to both sides, not covering the top, of course. You add your window frames. And there it is. Alright, moving on, we're actually going to be working on this next floor. So likewise with the first one, you can just wall these parts off. No access to the outside like so, and the lockers like this. We're going to be adding half walls to the center over here. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making the peaks for the collapsible roof. So when this collapses, we're going to be making some peaks over here so you can peek down and easily, you know, regain control for your base. So you can just add some half walls over here. We'll get some space for some boxes under this square. And on top of it, we're going to be doing like so. We'll add like a frame and then one in the bottom. I'm going to be putting a low triangle. Actually, we'll put this first, the frame. Then we're going to be adding a low triangle frame and then a high triangle frame. And we can remove these bottom ones. It's going to be looking something like this. And there, just finish walling it off. You can optionally do only 3 of them and just put like a ladder hatch. I'll do it like this, makes it easier. But okay, so after that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just wall these off for the bedrooms, because there are gonna be more bedrooms over here. So we're just gonna be walling those off and just making an entrance over here to them. So we can also wall this off optionally like so. We can leave some space for lockers, close off this roof. Alright, here we're going to be making it 1.5 layers tall, so it's actually going to be like something like this. I'm going to show it to you guys. So we're just going to be doing it here, and then we're just going to be adding it like so. We're going to be making a peak, and then we'll just put some half walls, and just completely close this section off like so. So here you still got your bedrooms, so this is still going to be the multi-access locker thing. You can put like whatever you want to access the code locks. If you'd rather have windows, put windows. If you'd rather have half walls, have half walls. But anyways, we're just going to be adding the lockers here just to show how it would be looking. So you actually can't access the code lock if you're doing it half wall like this, but you can get the top, so if you have the code you can easily access it. Here you can do it anyways. After that, we're just going to be closing this part off real quick, so we'll just quickly, assuming we're going to be adding the ways up like so. And this part we actually want to leave an entrance, because this is going to be our shooting floor, so we'll just leave an entrance there, and we'll just leave it like so. This part we can do like so. We'll just add the squares and half walls so you can later get retake peaks from here. Yeah, we can just kind of put a pause on this. If you add something like this, people aren't going to be able to get into your base anyways, so you should be fine. And we're actually going to start working on the outer layer over here now. So with this outer layer, it's kind of going to become a peak down once you fill the honeycomb out. So you can optionally you'd leave this for like as late in the game as possible. Like after you have the whole tower completed, you want to work on the outside, because the second you do this, you transform your early game shooting floor into peak downs, you know, and you get few angles outside. But anyways, doing that looks something like this. Kind of just want to fill in the blanks wherever it is. You will realize that this actually becomes a peak towards the inside, so this is pretty cool, just kind of inside of the base. So we'll just keep going, go all the way up on everything until you match the rest. You don't particularly have to fill out these floors, because again, it's just kind of like an open area, kind of like a peak down. Once you reach your shooting floor, however, which is this stage, you do want to close this off. So we'll just close all this off like this. Alright, so now let's start working on actually raising the pillars for the shooting floor. The pillars we're going to want to raise are this one, this line over here, and then we're also going to be doing these 4 like so. This is enough. Of course, you could always add more, but this, I feel like it usually works. It's a good amount, so you can just do it like so. From there, I'm going to be raising on all of these. We're also going to be raising on these 2 as well. Just leave it half. It doesn't really matter. It's actually going to help us out later on. I'm going to show it to you guys. So after you're almost in the shooting, so you're one layer short, what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to be wanting to add 3 windows over here, and followed by a wall and a half wall, which you can later do this with. And then in the ones that are half walls, you can just add a window. It's going to be half a layer above, which is totally fine. For the rest, you can just go up normally, and we're later going to be putting windows in. Alright, the next step after that would be working on optimizing the crouch metas. So here's what we're going to want to do. We're going to want to add a square and then just a frame over here. We're going to be making a ramp peak, so we'll add a low ramp and a high one over here, and then we'll remove this. Then we can place a frame on the on the pillar outside, which kind of creates a nice little angle over here as well. We'll just follow it up like so on the other side as well, so we can actually just place half walls like so if you're having a hard time getting this one over here. So again, we'll put the frame, and then we'll put a low one, a high one, and then remove the bottom. And from there, we can just wall it off normally, like so, and then just add windows everywhere. So here we actually, these are actually going to be external jump ups, so we can just add 2 columns over here, 2 door frames I mean, and then just add more windows just to get a couple additional angles like so. And then here is just going to be an entrance, and then this is later on going to be the jump up. So for the shooting floor, we'll add a little bit of this as well. Alright, so in the shooting, we have so many crouch peaks over here. You know, you basically get everything. You get angles towards the base itself as well. It's a pretty well-rounded shooting floor, and it actually does have collapsible honeycomb. So you see how there's a gap here, but you can't really shoot. What happens is, once the rockets start coming and they start breaking, like this whole area falls apart and it just collapses. The peaks, they start to open. So you see how now you have like a much better angle now that like a bunch of the part have been destroyed. So this just sort of stays up, you know, and it just helps you fight throughout the entire raid. Alright, so now for walling this part off, we can just add some frames to like here just for stability purposes. From there, you can just wall this off. Normally, we're actually going to be making a peak over here. So what you're going to want to do is we'll just add a frame on top like so. We'll add a half wall, we'll add a low wall I mean, and then we'll just put half walls all around. And this is going to be our retake point for the shooting floor in case, I don't know, something happens. It's always good to have a retake point for shooting. There are going to be multiple, but this is just one of them. For the rest of the space over here, this is actually going to be other bedrooms, which have a super nice retake angle. So this is the one I was talking about earlier. Like so, we can just have our lockers like usual. We can just add it by half walls like this. What I like to do here, I'll usually place like the frames like so, and then I'll put like the beds. So bedroom would look pretty nice. It has like the lockers like under here. It has lockers here, lockers on top. So it's a very nice little area, little bedroom area. So we're actually gonna wall this one off like so. We're gonna make it like this, and these are actually gonna serve as our jump ups this time, since we actually close these off. So we can close the roof off for these. We can close off the roof for the locker ones. Additionally, we can add another one that's gonna be in the roof like so, and then you can just access the locker like this. So actually, this one's 1.5 up, so it'd be something like this. And then you can just do this. And then if I'm in the roof, I can literally just, you know, have access to a locker that's just in the floor. Anyways, from here, we're just gonna keep filling this off like so. We're gonna actually fill this whole part off like this. I'm gonna show why we're gonna do this later on. You guys will see. But for now, we'll just cover it up. We can just make a jump up over here and a way and obviously an entrance up. This is actually going to be our roof, so we don't need a way up after that. Just close this off. For this whole part, you can just close everything here off as well. We'll just do it like so. Then make sure you connect these squares over here, or else you won't have enough stability. So if we connect one of these squares, we already have stability for everything. So here we'll do this. Alright, fuck that. We'll do this. And then we can just repeat it on all sides, and that's that. So from there, we're going to be working on the jump up over here. So we'll just put squares all around, because we're not actually going to be using these to shoot. I'm just going to be making like an entrance like so. Here, I mean, optionally you could like put a locker or just use this as a little bedroom. I mean, completely up to you. From there, we'll just add some roof tiles over here, get some additional angles in the roof, of course. And then, I guess this could be good like this. You could optionally add a tower over here, so that you can make those like OT roof jumps, if you know what I'm saying. Could be something like this. We can add like a triangle, like so. And then we'll just put like a triangle, and then Here we kind of have like a shooting pod, you know, and then you'd sort of like jump from the roof to here. There's a lot of customizations you can still have, and then you'll just like do this however you want, and then it's only accessible through here. But I'm just gonna leave the base like full vanilla mode, and I'll let you guys just do it however you guys want. So from the top over here, you now have this kind of like huge open like pool right now going on. You're gonna actually want to wall the triangles off. From there, we can just put some half walls over here, wall this part off in the middle as well. Alright, from there, we'll just fucking put some triangles like so. And we can actually, I'm gonna change the symmetry to 3. And here's what we're gonna be doing. This is gonna be a late game roam room, right? So after the open core is just kind of after roam start, you want to depot loot in the roof. This is the perfect mini open core in the roof that's got your back, you know. So it's got so much storage, and literally just fit whatever you want in here. After that, you can just leave this open or wall it off. You do it however you'd like. And yeah, I guess we kind of have to do this then. Just wall this top part off. After that, we can remove it. And there it is. So this kind of sums up the build of the base. I obviously didn't put any doors or anything, or boxes. For the open core over here, let me just show you guys how I'd personally organize it. Just put boxes, you just put boxes everywhere that is clearly boxes. I'll usually leave like boom in the bottom over here so you can wall these parts out, and then you can just have boxes. Optionally add another layer of protection with ramps like so. And then you can just put explosives here, and then here I'll maybe leave like a sector for each item of clothing or for each resource or whatever. You guys divide it however you guys like it. From there, everything is working. If this part collapses, the whole roof opens up, becomes something like this. Clearly no one's getting your loot when you have this many angles and respawn points on them. So this concludes the base for the Halloween. Of course, take the base to your own interpretation. You know, if you're gonna be playing in a server, please don't build it exactly like this. People are gonna find out about it, and it's just gonna be a difficult experience, you know. So always add your touch to the base. It's also nice so you don't actually copy it straight from YouTube. Like, come on, man. But this is the base. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys also enjoyed this new style of video. If you guys didn't notice or not, I'm kind of speaking in a much more casual way, considering my usual very scripted video, if you know what I'm saying. So like, if you guys enjoy this type of content, please let me know. Leave a comment. It means so much to me. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.